Hey everybody, it's Danny, the Wicked Awesome Gardener, here in my kitchen, coming to you with the long-promised cooking videos that I've been mentioning and dropping hints for in several videos, and it's long overdue. So when you grow a ton of food in the garden, you gotta use it, and this is one of my favorite ways to use up some of those things that produce a whole lot of in your garden, and it can make a really nice meal, and that is an oven-baked ratatouille. So this is going to use a lot of things that I grew myself this year. It's going to be eggplant, tomatoes, zucchini, summer squash, onions, garlic, and some rosemary and olive oil. The garlic, I've actually used all the garlic that I grew in my garden this year, so the garlic I'm using comes from the store, and the olive oil, obviously, I can't make olive oil where I am. So that came from the store too. But everything else is grown right out there in the garden. There's a little bit of salt and pepper in there, and I am cheating just the littlest bit and using an 8-ounce can of tomato paste. I could make my own, I am going to make my own, but this worked out just right. This oven-baked ratatouille is one of my favorite dishes, and I will tell you why. It's very sentimental to me. A bit over 10 years ago, I was going through a divorce, and I was just rocked to my core. I was numb for weeks, and I went several days where I did not feel like eating. Like, I would force myself to eat a few bites and then I would just get sick. So it was a very hard, very stressful time, and I don't think I had eaten in like 2 days. And my friends dragged me out of the house. They brought me to this festival, and a woman was doing a workshop on food and how preparing food, certain foods give you certain feelings, and preparing food with certain feelings can sometimes almost like transfer through the food and into the people eating it. Like, you know, that secret ingredient is love type of thing. And I came to the seminar a little late. I said, I'll just go sit and I'll watch this thing. And everybody else had already been served, and she was going on with her workshop and talking about the different foods and feelings that they can evoke in people. And then, like a true Italian mother, she noticed me sitting off to the side in the front, and I did not have a plate of food in front of me, and I looked sad, which meant she had to make me eat. And I kept saying, no, I'm not really hungry. You know what? I don't like eggplant, because at this point, I don't think I'd ever really eaten eggplant. That was a mistake on my part, because now that I've had it, I love eggplant. So she's like, no, you need to eat something. Hold on. And she went and scooped me a big pile of this vegetable sort of casserole on a big thick slice of Italian bread, dusted it with a little parmesan, and said, here you go. And I didn't want to be rude, so I picked up my fork and I took a bite, and oh my God, I could just feel rushing through me the warmth spreading out, and just, it kind of brought me back to life again. I don't know why or how, but it did. It just spread through, and I felt alive again. I told her and her husband about this later at their booth, and they just kind of looked at each other, nodded their heads, and they both ran around the sides of the booth, came over and picked me up into this big bear hug, one of them on each side. And the fact that they picked me up off the ground is hilarious, because she's about 5 feet tall and I'm 5'2", so this little tiny woman, whoop, it was great. I'm actually really sad to be making this dish right now and not have her olive oil. And if you guys want to experience the amazingness that is the olive oil that this woman makes, go to Cucina Aurora Kitchen Witchery. They are amazing. It's a small home business, just a family business. They're great. The oil she makes is superb, and I'm really sad that I don't have any right now to be making this dish. I'm trying to fake it. It's not going to be nearly as good. This recipe also actually comes from her website. I'm going to have a link down in the description, so if you want to make it, I'm making some tweaks to it because I have a little more of things or a little less of things, and so I'm kind of making a bastardized version, but it's still going to be delicious, and we're going to go from there. So because I don't have her amazing rosemary and garlic olive oil. I have some oil here in this pan with some rosemary from the garden and some garlic that is just kind of here to sweat out a little bit. But now that I've got that and I've got all of my things chopped up, which actually I will show you. I'm actually, because my pan is so small, I'm gonna have to make like 2 of these and just, I'm gonna have one to freeze and one to eat off of for the next week or so. But this is a big pile of cubed eggplant and summer squash and zucchini. And that all came from my garden, yay. So there's a couple of small eggplant here. I think actually 3 of them because I used a couple of the small ones as well. A summer squash, a zucchini, and a half because I wanted more. I have tomatoes from the garden. This is the Voldemort tomato, the tomato that shall not be named, and also an Italian Genovese, and some onions. These are some sweet yellow onions. They were supposed to be jumbo onions. They're not that jumbo, but that's okay. They are delicious, and these are all cut into wedges. So my garlic and rosemary has been sweating here. I'm going to preheat my oven to 400. I'm going to throw in my onions. And we're just going to let these cook until they get soft. That smells so good. So these onions have gotten nice and soft. The garlic is starting to turn color just the tiniest bit. So we're going to go ahead and start throwing in the eggplant and zucchini and summer squash. There we go. Zucchini, eggplant, that beautiful Rosa Bianca. Summer squash. Oh yeah, that is some good stuff. It's going to be a lot to have in this pan, but it's going to cook down. I'm going to turn down my heat just a little bit, so we're about on medium heat. May add a little bit more oil just to keep things from getting too dry. We're just going to cook it like this until these veggies get nice and tender. Once you've given them about 10 to 15 minutes to cook and get nice and tender, you want to add some fresh parsley and sage. Yum, yum, yum. Those came fresh from the garden as well. Stir that in. Last little sage. Oh, if you could smell my kitchen. Ooh, hoo, hoo. That's beautiful. That is some kind of beautiful. Gonna hit it with this tomato paste. This is about 8 ounces. Slide in our tomato wedges. Hit it with some salt. Pack in some pepper. This thing takes forever. But I like pepper, so we're gonna hit it with a lot. Oh yeah. Oh baby. This is some good stuff. I'm debating on adding a little more tomato, but that's looking pretty good. Hopefully this fits. I don't think it will. Oh, you know what? It might just. Oh yeah, nope, this is gonna be perfect. I don't wanna miss any of this deliciousness. This pan is deeper than I thought it was. That is a thing of beauty. Perfect. Oh, that filled it just right. We'll cover that with foil. A little bit, let the steam vent. And into the oven it goes. So that's gonna cook in the oven for about 2 hours on 400 degrees. And every so often, like every half hour or so, you wanna go and just give it a little stir in there so that the veggies don't start to burn on the bottom of the casserole dish. And in 2 hours, that is gonna be some deliciousness. Now, we wait. All right, it's been about 2 hours, moment of truth. That is some kind of deliciousness in there. Let's take you in close. The only thing I don't love about this is that Stop and Shop puts their bread in plastic bags now instead of paper, so the bread doesn't get so crispy on the outside. I mean, it's all right. But I miss that crispy crunch on the outside. All right, here we go. Whew. Steamy. That looks amazing. I'm just gonna take a big old scoop of this, mix it around a little bit, get it off the bottom. So we take that, spoon it over our bread. Hit it with some parm, let that melt a little. And yeah, maybe that's a little too much cheese, but you know what? There's no such thing. Well guys, it's time for me to go eat dinner. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give this video a big thumbs up, put in there some things that you're cooking out of your garden in the comments section. I'd love to hear what you're cooking from what you're growing. And I'll see you guys next time while we cook some more wicked awesome food from yard to table. Bye-bye.